Yo!
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Episode 4 of the HOP, the Hollandaise Octagon Pendulum. That's a good one.
It's the Hollandaise Octagon
Pendulum episode.
Pendulum podcast.
Someone write that down.
Someone keep track.
Anyway, welcome in, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for round 4, episode 4. We've got... Steven, we've got a big one today.
Oh, boy, do we.
Oh, boy. I'm nervous.
We got a lot to drink.
What are we drinking?
Guys, we're featuring Avery Brewing out of Colorado, Boulder, Colorado, and we're featuring all beers from their barrel-aged series. We got the Rumpkin. We got the Fimbulvvinter Quintuple.
Say that one more time.
We got the Fimbulvvinter Quintuple. And the Bourbon Barrel-Aged Coconut Porter.
This is going to be... a good one, a boozy one.
I'm actually a little nervous.
This might be the one where,
nervous.
like, we always joke about, like, oh, we're, like, slurring our words. This might be it.
Hey, Gabe.
Hey, Steven.
Let's grab a drink.
Okay. We are back. We are ready to get into it. Steven, how are we feeling? Are we ready? Are we spiritually moved?
I feel
Are we rested?
so good. I feel like we're going to tell you guys what the ABV of everything we're drinking is. It's very, very high. I'll just put it that way.
What did we say before this episode started? You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
You got to crack a few eggs, and we are the eggs.
And we're going to get cracked. What?
Meaning drunk.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited though. This is just an awesome brewery. I feel like we say that every week, but this one really is. They're a company that's doing it right.
Yes.
And they're doing it different. And I'm excited that we get to bring them to you today.
If you've seen photos of the facility, it is just
it's so
beautiful.
pretty.
It's very modern looking.
Yeah,
like the buildings and everything. It looks
very
looks
state of
really
the art,
awesome.
sleek, sexy.
Get at me, Avery. Yikes.
How are you, Gabe? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm ready. So you had... Which one of these beers did you have before I moved into the New York when we lived together on 92nd?
Yeah, okay, so I've had the Rumpkin before.
Okay, so I remember you telling me about this, and I'm sure you might have like given me a sip or something, but I don't remember it. I don't think I've ever really drank in most of these anything from the series, so I'm like real pumped.
Yeah, the Rumpkin, we were like, is that weird to do right now? Because it's not Halloween, it's an autumnal. But you know what?
Who cares?
This beer is barrel aged, and it's meant to be kept on shelves. And we're drinking an older vintage too that I'm excited about. So, fuck it.
Fuck it.
We have so much to cover. Let's
dive jump right in.
To the news and notes. And the first thing we're going to talk about is this article that came out about about actually looking back on last year, with 2020. Now that we're in it, they did sort of a review of 2019, sort of the year in beer, and I thought it was really interesting to just reflect on last year, what the craft industry was doing, and just some of the numbers, the figures that they threw out. There was craft brewing contributed to more than 550,000 jobs and $79.1 billion to the U.S. economy.
Yeah. So take that, all the people that think alcohol should be illegal.
Take that, prohibition.
Suck it.
We're making money now. There were more than 8,000 American breweries operating last year. That is a record number for the United States. More than 4,700 craft brewing companies adopting the independent seal, the little Independent Craft Brewers Association seal, the upside-down bottle. You've seen it. Look for it.
If you get a tattoo of that, send us a photo. We'll throw it on the gram and the Twitter account.
Plenty. Yeah. Oh, if you got that tattooed, that'd be fucking.
That would be like next level shit. But hey, you go with God.
That'd be a real commitment. I love beer. But then you got to explain that and like.
Hey, if you get that as a tattoo, you can host the podcast. You can take my place.
You can.
I'm kidding. But let's continue.
Don't abandon me. 4 episodes in. The Brewers Association launched 2 new national beer holidays.
Ugh.
The National Independent Beer Run Day on July 3rd. I don't know what that is.
I was just going to ask, is that like beer run as in like I'm going to go on a beer run, you just go? No, I'm thinking like you go get really good beer. Like it's like...
Oh, I'm making a beer run.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We're going to go and get some Natter Days.
I mean, I didn't say all that, but...
I think it's
Natter
like...
Days. Jesus.
I just found out what that was. I didn't know what that was.
Hey, Steven, what's a Natter Day?
A Natter Day... well, hey... Inclusionary. We're not here to judge.
I'm just asking you what it is.
Natural Light, Natty Light, the brewing company. They have a beer that is strawberry lemonade flavored, and
they're going with the flavor twist.
Apparently, it's big in the college community. I have a cousin in college, and he was defending it to me, and he was like, "No, bro, it's great because it's like $20. You got like a 30 rack, bro. Like it's awesome."
Oh, lit!
And I was like, "Yeah."
That's how he sounds. We love you, Michael.
We're getting off topic. This year, okay, so the National Beer Run Day and also Small Brewery Sunday, which was on December 1st. Now, considering that they tagged the name of the day to it, I'm not sure that it comes around again every year because it can't happen on December 1st again unless it's just like the first Sunday in December. Or they're going to call it Small Brewery Monday. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it might be... Maybe, yeah, if it's Small Brewery Sunday, it would just be first Sunday.
It's gotta be Sunday.
Yeah.
If it'll come around like Easter.
The Lord, and on the 7th day, the Lord drank beer. My man.
I knew right where you were going
with
that.
Yes.
Okay, what else happened last year? Craft beer and the U.S. brewing industry were featured in an exhibit at the Smithsonian, which is dope. It was called Brewing a Revolution, and it was a display within the Food Transforming the American Table exhibition at the National Museum of American History. Night at the museum. So that was cool, and then what else happened? Oh, and you can read, there's so much more. There was like a documentary about craft beer that was made. There was like some bipartisan legislation, maybe the only bipartisan legislation that was passed last year, had to do with beer. So if you want to read more about this, you can do so at brewersassociation.org.
For all you hard seltzer fans, get ready because hard seltzer is here to stay. Hard seltzers took over in 2019. I remember seeing a bunch of spiked or hard seltzer, whatever you want to call it, over the past, little while as I started to learn more about what I was drinking and things like that. But I mean, it's really taken off. White Claw especially, it's definitely a fan favorite. Especially what a lot of people noticed was 4th of July holiday and that makes sense to me. It's hot, it's summer. No one really wants to pound, you're not going to want to pound a Baltic style porter like we did last episode. You're going to want to pound something light and crisp to get you feeling loosey-goosey. It definitely maintained a top spot on a monthly basis in many categories, and it's still, in November of 2019 alone, hard seltzer accounted for 18.15% of overall beer, cider, seltzer categories in sales. It's definitely taken over, and it's definitely becoming something that people are really looking forward to. I think mostly just because it's got the great taste, but it's also like the alcohol doesn't like punch you in the face. Like it's in the background, and you can, your classics like the Bon and Viv and the White Claw and I don't remember, what's the one with the mermaid?
Oh.
I think it's just called Spike Seltzer.
Yeah, I think so. And there's Truly is another
Truly,
one.
Yep, Truly. Shout out to Keegan-Michael Key in those commercials. They're hilarious.
Yes, saw it today.
The only one I didn't like was when you were like pouring the red wine out. We're going to talk about that later. I'm looking at from Long Trail Brewing Company, a raspberry lime CBD hard seltzer. Oh, it's non-alcoholic seltzer. Excuse me.
Oh, well, what's that doing in this article then?
But that does sound pretty dope. That's a whole other topic, and we'll get to that at another time. But yeah,
a whole other show.
Yeah, that's something crazy.
It's a whole other podcast.
I mean, the brand they've noticed brands are declining. Brand power is declining, not only for beer, but other products, kind of like scotch, bourbon, stuff like that. But consumers are more excited about new products than they are about trusted brands like Goose Island or Johnny Walker. So it's definitely a change. A change is in the air.
I love these kind of predictions looking forward. I mean, who knows what will really come to pass, but I love hearing like this hard seltzer boom. I mean, we're seeing it. We're in the middle of it. Hard seltzer has been around, but we are in the moment able to watch a product kind of taking off.
It really is kind of crazy. I will admit,
in the past 6 months,
hard seltzer is not my favorite. If I had to choose between hard seltzer and beer, I would definitely pick beer. But like you said, like it is interesting to see like, wow, everyone's drinking this.
Yeah, it's a product that is a healthy alternative to beer. There are a lot of you out there, well, maybe not a lot of you, but we did say this podcast is not just for the beer drinkers. So, a lot of people out there do not like beer or can't drink beer because they're gluten-free. So
that's right.
It's a healthy alternative to beer that we've seen a huge surge in the last 6 months. And these people are predicting that come the summer
and they're all like crazy flavors too, which is nice. Cause like, I don't know.
Sitting on the beach.
Like if I feel like a hard seltzer, like just a basic non-flavor, like it was pretty bland. I feel like that'd be bland. You wouldn't want to drink that, but like
just like
a freaking raspberry, lemon, lime muffin cake, you gonna want to drink that hard seltzer.
Is that White Claw or
that's yes. I don't know what that is. It's out there somewhere.
Before we move into the beer, this last piece of news that I am God just so excited to share with you, genuinely, because it's just so cool. If you are a beer person, you've probably heard of Russian River's Pliny the Elder. Russian River is a brewing company in California, and they brew this double IPA called Pliny the Elder. It debuted in 2004, and it kind of took the craft beer world by storm. This was before Heady Topper. This was before Sip of Sunshine. This was before Road to Ruin. This was when people weren't really making beers like this, and it really kind of changed the game. To this day, it is nearly impossible to find in California. You can call up a store and say, "Do you have Pliny the Elder?" and they will laugh at you or tell you, "Oh, no, we get that on Thursday. You got to come in. There's a line." Like
6
it's one of those
situations. Yep. It's like the beer in Vermont.
It's a sought after beer. It is. It's exactly like Heady Topper in its heyday, like the original, back when it was impossible to get. People come from all over to get Pliny the Elder. Okay, so Russian River has announced that they are going to be bottling Pliny the Younger for 2020. Pliny the Younger is their triple IPA, kind of the younger or older brother to Pliny the Elder, however you look at it. But it's a triple IPA, which many people consider to be the holy grail of craft beer. It comes out for about 2 weeks in February, and for the past 16 years, it has not been available in a bottle. And for the first time this year, it will be. This beer is always released on the first Friday of February, and it's available at the brewery in Santa Rosa, as well as they opened a Windsor location as of last year.
I'm assuming Santa Rosa is California.
California, yes. Okay. Both of these, Windsor, California, Santa
Rosa,
I don't
California. Live there, so I don't know, Steve.
I'm sorry. I just assumed. This is fascinating to me. In 2019, the Sonoma County Economic Development Board did a study, and they determined that the 2-week release of Pliny the Younger, the 2 weeks in February, resulted in visitors from 42 states and 14 countries and contributed $4.16 million to the local economy. That's how you release a fucking beer, right?
In 2 weeks, that happened.
2 weeks, people came from 14 countries to have this beer. And like I was saying, for the first time in 16 years, Pliny the Younger will be bottled, and it will be released to the public in a bottle, not just on drafts. Guests can purchase...
Tell them how you feel, Mike Breen.
Bang! Exclamation point!
Go get it. Guests can purchase up to 2 510 milliliter bottles. You will be wearing a wristband. They will track this.
That's how you know this beer is doing well.
You cannot scam them. They are tracking.
Here, wear this. We know you already bought this beer.
And it will be in the brew pubs only. So you can't go to the Russian River and go to the gift shop and get it there. You have to go for the full brew pub experience, wear your wristband, and get it. That's the first Friday of February, and then draft distribution will begin the second week of February. They also, this is not information for anyone anymore, but it's just cool. They're doing like a Pliny the Younger dinner, like a preview beer dinner, which sold out in a matter of hours, so you can't go to it. But they say they'll be doing another one again next year. So if you are free in February and feel like taking a trip to California, and you're a craft beer person out in search of the Holy Grail, like Harrison Ford, check out RussianRiverBrewing.com and go after this beer.
So I know you're going to be in February in California.
I'll be
in California in February. So like
I'll be doing a little play.
I know you'll be doing a little play, but
job to do.
Like if you can take 10 minutes away from it and go get me some beer.
Oh, that'd be so
Want to plug your
dope.
play? What are you doing, Steven?
I am doing... Yes, I do want to plug my play. Come to the University of Southern California's production of Othello. It's a graduate program. Yeah, we're going to be out there doing some Shakespeare like you've never seen it done before, directed by the formidable Kate Burton. You know her from TV. Look her up. You know who she is. She's Sally Langston. It's going to be fucking dope. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about beer.
Just remember, don't suck. That's the best advice I could give you.
Oh, I forgot about that part.
So, you're welcome.
Gabe, we got a lot of booze.
Woo! Let's dive the hell in.
Do you have a toast for us?
Oh, boy, do I. Hit me with that smooth jazz.
No, you want smooth jazz.
It just fits so well.
Let's hear it.
If the ocean was beer and I was a duck, I would swim to the bottom and drink myself up. But the ocean's not beer, and I'm not a duck. So let's drink these pints and get messed up.
Beautiful.
Figured it fit with what we're doing today.
Oh, we're gonna get messed up.
Oh, we're gonna get messed up.
I really wanted the word fuck to be in that.
And let's get fucked up. There you go. Let's dive in.
Let's do it. Okay, beer. We are diving in with the Rumpkin first and foremost.
Give me your glass. I'm a gentleman. I'll pour for you first.
Yeah, hit me with it.
Because I'm nice like that.
There you go.
Steven, do these beers don't require any specific like glassware, right?
Specific glassware, no. I would probably recommend going with a snifter of some kind. Like we're going with kind of a chalice-y
Oh my
type
god,
situation.
I just handed you that and I got a whiff of it. Holy hell. Oh, pumped.
Oh my god, it smells so good. We are sharing 12-ounce bottles of 2 out of 3 of these beers.
Because we don't want to,
they're
die.
so boozy, and yeah, we don't want to die today. Not today.
Not today, maybe tomorrow. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, okay.
So, let me tell you. Let's taste it before I tell the story.
Wait, hold on, just smell it.
Yeah, I know.
I definitely smell pumpkin. I smell like honey.
It's that rum, man. Honey.
It's that sweet, like, I mean, maybe I'm thinking honey because there are bees on this glass that I'm drinking. But
it's 16.3% alcohol by volume.
Lord.
Yeah, that's just about one of the biggest beers I've ever had.
To life. I don't know.
L'chaim.
We already did the toast.
Cheers.
Salud. Oh, come on.
Oh man, that just shoots through you.
Wow, I'm not gonna lie, that's strong. That's like, I can't lie. Wow.
All right, so let's talk about
this. Is in a normal bottle. Like
the Rumpkin. I first heard about the Rumpkin a few years ago. It was probably 2016, maybe. And I love pumpkin beer. I really do. I like pumpkin beer a lot, especially if it's boozy.
Yes.
I don't like a pumpkin shandy or something that's just loaded up with pumpkin too much that it's too sweet. It's just like too much for me.
You want the flavor of pumpkin, but you want it to be a beer. You don't want pumpkin juice.
Right. Around the holiday, especially like around autumn, around when the leaves start falling and stuff like that, I want just one just sturdy pumpkin beer. I love the Dogfish Pumpkin. I love this is something else. But there's a lot of good ones. I love the who is it? Shipyard, I think, has a pretty good one. Smutty Nose has a good.
Yep. And then we got to mention one of my favorite pumpkin beers, Two Roads, Rosemary's Baby.
Oh yes.
Ooh, we'll do an episode. That's a whole nother thing.
Two Roads is coming your way. In the future.
But this, I don't want to compare it to that, but it does. If there was one beer that was like, what does this remind you of? Like immediately, definitely the Two Roads, Rosemary's Baby, just because of the flavor and the texture of the beer going down, as well as how strong it is.
Yeah, just to put a finer point on it. So, I had heard about this beer because it's a pumpkin beer that's aged in rum barrels and is, depending on the year that they're brewing it, between 16 and 17% alcohol. And I said, I need to find this beer. And I hunted around. I was living in New York City at the time, and I searched everywhere I could. And I, called liquor stores and called online delivery companies saying, do you have this? Searching all their inventories. And I finally found it at our old haunt, City Swigs.
Shout out to City Swiggers.
I paid $17 for a 12-ounce bottle.
That sounds about right.
I kept it in my fridge for a year.
Yeah, that was that the beer that you drank before I got to 92nd Street?
Yeah, I think so.
It was like in our fridge, and I was like, what is this? The bottle is topped with like a goldish,
gold foil.
Gold foil. I couldn't think of the word. Gold foilish thing on it. I was like, what is this? And why is it just sitting here? And you were like, oh, no. Put that back.
You can't touch that.
Baby needs to rest. I was like, what is this? You were like, oh, it's just a single beer. It's 17%. I was like, what?
We're also drinking the 2017 vintage.
Just about to mention that. On the bottle, it says when it was bottled.
And
what
it was
does it
bottled
say?
August 1st, 2017.
That's
It's
crazy.
a very old beer. And, we're going to talk about this a little bit later because it is worth discussing in this episode, I think, about, the shelf life of beer, what beers can last, what beers can't.
This could be served as like a friggin' cocktail.
I know, it's
know what I mean?
Strong.
Like, this, you could, obviously not with like ice, but like you throw this in a rocks glass, you might be good for the night.
So when you poured it, I didn't see a lot of head or anything on it.
No, there's no head. It goes away. If there is, it dissipates quickly. I mean, in this, what shape would you call this glass that I'm drinking out of? Like, it's like a brandy glass, right?
Yeah,
it kind of looks like that.
It
looks like brandy. It's got the golden orangish amber color, but like when you put it in a brandy glass like this, like you could fool people into thinking you're drinking liquor. Like that's the way it looks. It's just, it's very it's not too dark. The way to
SRM like 12, between like a 12 and 17.
Yeah, and I think I learned this from Two Road Tours. Like you can tell how dark something is by you hold up the glass like eye level, and you can see if you can see your fingers on the other side.
Oh, that's how
you can tell like the levels of like how cloudy and how clear it is.
So, in tasting it, the first thing that hits me is it's booze forward. It's not hidden in there. The booze is not subtle. I mean, I wanted to say maybe it's not. It doesn't taste like 16%, but it does.
I mean,
and then there's pumpkin.
How do you even define that? Like, how do you define what 16% is? It's just, it's strong as hell.
In a way, I almost feel like I'm sipping on rum.
Yeah, seriously. And it's got that sweet flavor. It's not too much.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's so, I seriously, I taste honey and I didn't think I would. Like, I thought I would taste mostly pumpkin, but it's just, it's one of those sweet flavors that makes you want to go back for more. I think that's why I keep taking sips, knowing how strong it is. I just like keep drinking it.
Yeah, it's delicious. For me, I mean, I like I like boozy beers. I think that's not a secret at this point in the podcast. We've done 4 of these, and we've had a lot of boozy beers on here, and it's not. I'm a fan.
It's not that old. Debuting in 2011.
Yeah. It was the first beer in this annual barrel age series that we do. So I get booze first and foremost, and then it kind of burns going down. Like, you can feel it.
I feel warmer.
Yeah,
definitely.
I feel warmer. There's definitely, though, those pumpkin flavors behind it that you would normally associate with a pumpkin beer. Cinnamon, allspice, ginger, some, like, molasses, some maple syrup.
Ooh, now you say maple syrup, yeah.
Yeah.
Season. Fall, right? Yeah.
Fall.
I mean, it's pumpkin, obviously.
They release it
I don't know that
October.
I don't know that I would want to drink this during the winter. Well, maybe during the winter. I don't know. If it's like, oh, you know when I would want to drink this? When you're snowed in. It's like there's 12 feet of snow outside. You can't go anywhere. Pop open one of these. We're going to have an indoor night.
We're getting drunk.
We're getting drunk, Grandma. Sling it back.
It's released, I believe, August through October. That's when you can buy it. But, of course, if you go to the brewery, they do have the vintage 2017 they're still selling today. They're still selling the 2018. They keep them year-round, and you can buy older vintage bottles of it. And, of course, you'll pay more for the vintage. But this is one of those beers that ages well. It does not... Like we said, it was bottled on August 1st, 2017. This is not skunked at all. There's nothing wrong with this beer. It's about how it's taken care of as long as it's properly stored. You're not letting a lot of light in. There's no oxidation leaking into the bottle or anything like that.
I want to know
bacteria.
like what it's like to keep this beer like in the back. Like, do they keep it in just like a dark room?
Probably.
Like, what do you do with that?
Probably in barrels.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
you mean after it's bottled, though?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they definitely keep it dark and cold or cool, They have a whole thing on their website about, how we brew, and we'll get into like their we'll get into the brewery, of course, and get into their process.
Absolutely.
But they do talk about their cold storage and how they transfer full pallets of cans and bottles to a cold storage warehouse. It's 40 degrees in the whole warehouse so that the beer stays as fresh as possible until it reaches the consumer. So, they keep it dark and they keep it cold. They keep the light away from the beer to prevent it from skunking. There's no windows or doors. Other than the ones that I guess they walk through to get in.
I was just about to say, can you imagine being an employee working there? No windows or doors? It's like, I love beer, but damn, I need to see what nature looks like every once in a while.
It does not have windows, and it has doors.
There we go.
That automatically open. Okay, I get it. And then they ship the beer on 40-degree refrigerated trucks, so they're doing everything that they can to keep the beer properly stored.
They're doing it right.
And if you're buying it at a store that's worth its salt, they'll hopefully have stored it sufficiently so that it keeps.
It's amazing, like, just the fine details of keeping things intact and keeping it stored, like, in a specific location. I mean, I found out, maybe this is just me being not having the knowledge, but I found out, like, kind of recently, like, light really does affect certain types of, not even beer, just certain types of alcohol. Like, you leave something in the sun for a while, it's gonna, like, not dry out in a way.
Well, that's why, I mean, it's, light absolutely affects beer, and the way beer is stored matters. Once a beer is cold, it should be kept cold. If you buy a beer not cold and you aren't planning to drink it for a while, don't put it in the fridge.
Keep it don't go back and forth between cold and hot, that messes with it.
And light absolutely affects beer, and you can see that, nowhere can you see that more clearly, I think, than in tasting a Corona. That, like, God love Corona for what it is, but that skunkiness, that thing, that flavor is light affecting the beer, and it's in a clear bottle. That's why most beer bottles are dark, and it's why the industry more and more is shifting back to cans, which used to be thought of as trashy. Now we think of them as the proper way to store
the savior. Yeah, I mean, and it's statistical fact. If you keep a beer in the sun and then drink it, it will make you shorter. Like, you will lose height. And you'll have to, like, for all you tall dudes out there, I mean, you drink sunlit beer, you're gonna be shorter. And all these women out there are like, I like a tall guy. Well,
If you feel too tall, though, go heat up some beer in the microwave.
in the microwave, because that's we give good advice on this podcast.
Disclaimer: don't do that. I think we could get sued.
The HOP is not responsible for anything that happens in your microwave. Never, ever, ever microwave beer.
Can we make a drop out of that? That would be great.
Press record. I'm ready. You kidding me?
Just some a review that's I found in researching this beer online that I really love is somebody wrote, tastes like someone smeared a pumpkin pie into a rum barrel.
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, it does. That's kind of what they were going for. The brewery said, we wondered what would happen if a monstrous pumpkin ale plump full of spicy gordiness were aged in fine fresh rum barrels to add suggestions of delicate oak and candied molasses. Rumpkin is what happens. Or as that guy put it, a pumpkin pie smeared in a rum barrel.
And I just want to mention some of the foods that it pairs with. We got roast turkey, baked root vegetables, obviously pumpkin pie, and this one surprised me, aged blue cheese. I like blue cheese, and I'm trying to think. I could see that. I could see that pairing together.
The acidity of the blue cheese would like kind of cut the sweetness.
It's like the savory and sweet. Like they would cut into each other. You know what I mean?
This beer has some Bravo hops in it. It's definitely not very hoppy. IBU, you're looking at, it's like 15. It's very not bitter. But there are some, there are hops in every beer, and it's Bravo hops. It's got Westmail Belgian ale yeast and a variety of malts, a complex variety of malts, including pumpkins malts, aromatic, and honey malts.
That's, see?
And
telling you. Honey.
Definitely comes through.
Honey malt.
Yeah, you're going to want to drink this one slowly. Slower than we are currently drinking it.
Nah, drink it fast. Try to beat the record. Screw it. Chug it. Chug it with your boys.
This beer is an experience. Like, I love that we're featuring this beer on the podcast because this is a classic example of, like, I heard about this beer. I contacted the brewery. I contacted the people at Avery, their customer service, and said, hey, where can I find this beer? They pointed me to some places in the city that had it.
They said, who's this? New phone.
And then said, go away. And I said, would you come on my podcast in 5 years?
They were like, we don't know who you are. In 5 years. Yeah, there we go.
I just want to make sure we covered everything about this beer. We do need to move on because of just time for you guys. We want to make sure we're not giving short shrift to any beer, but this beer is a delicious pumpkin option, super boozy, super rummy, sweet, unlike any pumpkin beer you've ever had.
Happy Halloween, everybody. It's not Halloween, but it might as well be because this is a scary good pumpkin beer. See what I did there? Kill them.
Gabe, you ready to get drunker than we
Oh,
currently
God.
are?
Hold on. I'm on my last gulp.
Oh, wow. You just threw that back.
Ah. Ow. All right.
Fuck. All right. Let's do it.
Steven, I found a ukulele in your house. You can't leave instruments around here without me trying to play it. Come on, what's wrong with you?
That was live transition music brought to you by Gabriel Johnny Walker Apria.
He gives me a new nickname every time he says my
I always
name.
go with a J name. It's
It's
harder
my
to
middle
find.
name. Okay, here we go. My middle name starts with a J. Steven, what is it? He doesn't know.
It's John.
Wow. Other brother.
It's Joe.
It's Joseph.
Really?
Yeah. We've been over this so many times. He's yelling. Anyway,
right.
Beer number 2.
Go ahead and say the name, Gabe.
Oh, boy. All right. Fimbulvvinter, quintuple, Fimbulvvinter.
It's Fimbulvvinter.
Fimbulvvinter, quintuple, rum barrel aged. I propose we clinkety clink
We'll
and
clink
then
again.
we sippity
Boom.
sip. Get in there.
I'm smelling it. Candy, banana,
Ooh.
butterscotch.
Butterscotch 100%. And what I love about this is It's got the same taste and feel as the Rumpkin, but it's everything. It's literally everything just minus pumpkin. Like if you just take pumpkin out of the equation, you've got what we've been drinking.
Yeah, but I also think that the booziness in this is so much more
lighter.
muted.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though the
I was just about to say
is the
that.
same, it's still 16.9%.
No, this one's a lot sneakier. This one, yeah. they found a way to brush this one under the rug. 100%.
Real quick, for anyone who's thinking, ooh, that sounds delicious, I'd love to try that. You can't! It's a retired beer.
Wow, what a douchebag.
It's not available anymore. Well, I mean, maybe you can. We are.
You can't! Sucks to be you. Sorry, I'm yelling.
Maybe you can. Maybe your local craft beer place has it.
Yeah, what do you mean we can't? We found it.
True. But this also was brewed in 2017. Another vintage beer that we're drinking. This is a Belgian quintuple, so it has that Belgian-y thing. You know, I feel like it's really hard to define what that is. When you say, like, what does this taste like? Oh, it tastes like a Belgian. I know what that means.
Belgian, I just immediately associate with, like, some form of wheat beer. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's that. Like,
That's just my go-to. When I hear Belgian, I think, like, crisp wheat.
You think, like, Blue Moon.
Yeah, exactly.
As at its most basic, and then up from there. But, like, what does
East
that
Rock
mean?
has a good wheat
it's
beer.
Like, is it, like... for me, it's the spices, it's the kind of zestiness, like the vibrancy in the beer.
It's got a feel to it. Yeah, it's not gonna be your, you know, I don't even know what. It's not even gonna be your classic, like, you sip this and, you know, you get only a few flavors. Like, it's gonna hit you over the head.
Complex.
Yeah, it's complex. Exactly. I love the color to this. This is like a wooden red.
Yeah, it's copper. It's got like, it's kind of clear, but it's got some sediment in it because it's kind of in, you know, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's got that like, it's got some love in there. It is like on your mouth, and this I feel this way about the Rumpkin too, but it's sticky and it's boozy in your mouth. The carbonation is light, but it's rich.
Definitely, I feel more maple syrup in this one than I do in the last one.
Oh yeah, maple syrup. I get banana from the Belgian.
Like this beer, you took the maple sap from the tree in the bucket, poured a drop in this, mixed it up, and then took a sip.
Except they didn't actually do that because some people do. But
some people, that's true.
But this tastes better than those.
It's definitely rich. It's definitely got the lingering sweetness. There isn't really a head. There's what would you?
I mean, there was.
What would you describe that?
There was a head originally, and then it disappeared.
It looks
into
like
a
you know when they show what the Earth looks like from space, and they're showing like what like certain landmarks look like. Like that's what it looks like. Like the beer itself is the water, and all the foam is all like. Obviously not the United States because it's not in the shape of it. I have been drinking, sir.
Bang! Exclamation point!
See, Mike Breen gets it. You know what I'm talking about. I've been watching a lot of those Planet Earth. Shout out to
David
Attenborough. I've been watching. We watch all those shows, so that's immediately what I think of. It's spotty, but it's delicious.
This beer has a Beer Advocate rating of 91. On Untappd, it's got a 4.18. We're not going to bother with the IBUs because it's just not a bitter beer at all. It's like 0. I don't know what it actually is, but I don't think the brewery even has like done that math because it doesn't matter. But it is like, I like this more than I usually like Belgians. I don't know why, because it's like, I know what you mean by the wheat thing.
Yeah.
But that isn't the flavor I get because it's so boozy. But unlike the Rumpkin, this isn't like holy. Like I don't feel it going down my body.
Right. I don't even like. I mean, obviously it's the Belgian, but like I don't associate. Like when I think of Belgian, I wouldn't think of this. Like I wouldn't put it. Although it is considered the Belgian, I wouldn't put it in that category on taste because, like you said, it doesn't taste like other Belgians. It is very sneaky and exactly what you said. Like it doesn't. it doesn't like quote unquote hurt going down. You know what I mean?
Or
like,
just you don't feel it. It doesn't feel like you're sipping a cocktail. It's what
I feel like I'm like this. I feel like this would go good with pancakes.
Yeah, because it's sweet. So
Butter pancakes.
From the brewery, find warmth in this rum barrel aged Odyssey. You know, a lot of breweries do barrel aging, and a lot of breweries do barrel aging in bourbon barrels. And Avery Brewing they do that, but they've also shot for some rum barrels, which is a whole different thing. I mean, when you age in rum, the flavor is something completely different. Similarly, if you age in red wine barrels, what's going to result is something totally different.
Right.
But, the kind of barrel that you're aging in makes a huge difference on the final product of this beer. This beer, I don't even know if it would be good aged in bourbon barrels because I don't know that the Belgian would work, but it probably would. But like the difference between a bourbon barrel and a rum barrel really stands out, and you see that in the Rumpkin and in this with how sweet the final product is. I mean, rum is very sweet compared with bourbon or scotch or whiskey.
Right. It definitely enhances the flavor and enhances the notes. I feel like above everything, I could be completely wrong about this, and correct me if I am, but I feel like when it comes to the whole barrel aged stuff, I feel like it enhances the smell more than anything. I mean, obviously, it enhances the taste and the flavor and all that good stuff.
You feel that
just
on the nose.
like when I smell it, it's like, oh yeah, this is like I feel like
I smell the barrel.
Now that I have had experience and now that I know. I mean, let's be real. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But now that I've experienced more beers, like I can smell a beer and be like, yeah, this is probably aged in something or made with something different.
And it always should be. I mean, you can age human piss in a bourbon barrel, and
Yikes! Hold
I'll
up.
probably
Time out.
drink it.
Whoa! Wait a minute. What are we talking about?
I'll at least do a double take. Hey, do you want to drink this piss? Fuck you! It was aged in bourbon barrels.
How strong is it?
What's the ABV?
Yeah, what if it's like 20%? You're like, all right, I'll take a shot.
All right, how bad could it be?
Oh, Jesus.
Aaron Ralston did it. It is the thing that lingers on the back end is just sweetness. I really feel like I just want to emphasize how with the Rumpkin, when I smelled it, when I tasted it, everything was like, oh, fuck yeah, this is really boozy.
Yeah.
This is like, you could be sipping on this and enjoying it and hanging out with people, and you're going to be good and fucking...
This is another loosey-goosey beer. I mean, you have I think depending on who you are, you have one of these, you're good to go. I mean, this is definitely another... I think they're all very similar in the sense of this is another maybe fall beer, maybe winter, snowed in... You're cuddling with Bae by the fire. You want to try something new. You want to try something sweet. I think this will... What do you think? You think people who mostly enjoy sweet ciders would like this?
If you are a cider drinker, flavor profile-wise, if you're adventurous and willing to try something new, this actually might be of interest to you because of how... sweet it is. I mean, it has notes like that,
This is the beer that, like, if you're like, I don't like beer, I only like cider, I only like fruity things, I only like, I don't know, rosé. This is the drink that you're like, your friend is drinking or your significant other is drinking and you're like, hey, can I get a sip of that? Or the significant other, like we would do this. We would talk to our significant others and be like, just like take a sip, just try it.
Just try it.
Don't be a bitch. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's...
I would love to muse about this beer all day, but unfortunately, we have another beer.
Oh, God, we do indeed.
I'm not going to finish this before we get into that. That's just me I'm opening up. I'm being honest with the people. I'm trying to stay present.
See, if I had less, I'd be like, screw it, let's go. But like, I've got a fourth of a glass here, and it's
we gotta move on to the.
I'm gonna take one last big gulp. Ready?
Let's do it.
One last big gulp for the people. This is for you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We love you guys. Just like college. Nothing like college. Yeah, not at all.
All right. Number 3. is
Oh, God.
the coconut porter aged in bourbon barrels.
The darker of the three. It's definitely got the body of a solid stout, although it isn't well. It's a porter.
It's a porter.
So
it's close.
It's in the family. I do propose a little clinky clink.
Let's clink. We always clink. We like to clink before we drink.
I do the clink. Chocolate. Come on, chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
Chocolate just smacked me in the mouth, and I liked it.
It's funny because you smell it and you get the coconut, and then
Yeah.
you drink it and you're like, oh, that chocolate just...
Yeah,
kicked my
I literally
ass.
felt like I was drinking a chocolate bar, and there's nothing wrong with that. The
It's-
cocoa flavor is wow.
It's it's part of their Botanicals and Barrels series. So they started this series where they try to do one fresh botanical per beer. There's kind of an interesting story behind it.
Doesn't botanical mean flower or something?
Botanical, I think they mean
Like botanical gardens, flowers.
I think they mean like of the earth. Like could be a flower, could be like a fruit.
Got it. Yep.
You know,
Could be a coconut tree.
it started. They made this imperial stout aged on fresh vanilla beans. It was a blended bourbon barrel imperial stout, and they put it in the tap room, and they were kind of like, yeah, that'll work. And then like it'll be good.
Sure.
And then Andy Parker, who's one of their their main brewer guys, he walked in at the end of his shift, and Adam Avery, who's one of the co-founders of the brewery, was sitting there with this. He was on his second pint, and he was like, "Can we mass produce this?" And
Go, man, go.
so that's when the Botanicals and Barrels series was born, and now, they try to do one fresh botanical per beer, and they blend with beers that are 100% barrel aged, so it can be anything like apricot, tangerine peel, vanilla beans. In this case, it's coconut, and the beer comes in at 10.4% ABV.
Still strong as hell.
Yeah.
This is definitely it's weird. It's like you think a porter, you think heavy. This isn't heavy at all. This is very light to me.
It's rich in the mouth and creamy.
Yeah, but it's not like this won't fill you up like a Guinness will. You know what I mean? Like this is not a meal. This is a drink.
It's bourbon forward. I get raisin. I get just a lot of.
I definitely
chocolate
taste the vanilla now.
toffee.
That I taste the vanilla in the aftertaste. I don't taste
like on
it
the back
up
end.
front.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, maybe I should drink more water in between. But it is a little masked by the other beers, just because I feel like I'm not experiencing the full flavor. But I'm definitely getting I'm telling you, the second I sipped it, chocolate, mother effing chocolate.
Yeah.
Like Willy Wonka just cock slapped me. He literally took out his chocolate hog and just whipped it out in front of us on this table, because let's be real, that's what happened.
Wow.
We've been drinking.
I think that, for listeners at home, you probably shouldn't drink as many of these types of beers as we've drank
In
this
a row.
quickly.
Probably
don't
not.
destroy your palate. We have the magic of editing and taking pauses in between and water and shit like that. So don't do that. But yeah, I know what you mean. I think we intentionally put this beer at the end because it's rich, it's chocolatey, it's heavy. If we drank this before the Rumpkin or
it wouldn't work.
the Belgian, it would destroy the palate.
This is a good beer to end on.
Yeah. We should talk a little bit about Avery Brewing as a company, though.
Let's talk about Avery Brewing as a Oh, did you just say
great
that?
idea, Gabe.
Oh my god!
Wow, you're right there with me.
Telepathy. That's a word.
There's a good word.
There's a
Test
good
out
word.
how
Go ahead.
Drunk you are.
What are we talking about?
All right, Avery Brewing. I mentioned before they are in Boulder, Colorado. They were established in September 1993. Adam Avery, I mentioned him before. He was 27, the year of our Lord.
Wow.
He was 27, and he had a passion for home brewing, and he didn't really know what he was going to do with his life. His dad was retiring, his dad, Larry Avery, was retiring, and his dad didn't know what he was going to do with retirement. And Adam was like, hey, Dad, why don't you give me all your money and let's open a brewery? And his dad said, yeah.
Dad of the Year award goes to
Honestly,
this man. He went, all right, fuck it.
I don't know that my dad would do that. Turns out Adam knows what he's doing. Thank God for both of them. Adam remains the CEO of the company and co-founder, while Larry, also a co-founder, he stops in every now and then to enjoy lunch in his retirement. So thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. Love you.
So that's 1993. 1 year later, the Out of Bounds Stout won the gold medal at the Great American Beer Festival, and they were kind of off to the races from there. Their Avery IPA became the first packaged IPA in Colorado.
In the state of Colorado. I thought that was the coolest thing.
It's very cool. They opened their tap room in 2003. They began barrel aging then, before it was cool to do so. Now everyone's barrel aging, but they were doing it in 2003. And then they moved to their current, very spacious, very pretty, very state-of-the-art facility right on the lake.
It's beautiful. Like, just Google Avery Brewing Company and just look at the images online. Like, it looks so modernized and just like a beautiful building. Like, it looks incredible.
Yeah, it's really nice. The brewery is committed to brewing eccentric beers that defy styles and categories. I think the beers that we featured today really are a testament to that, blending old world traditions such as Belgian style brewing with American creativity and ingenuity.
And for all of you recycling people out there, you are going to love this brewery because, wow, you are going to love this brewery because they have their own recycling program. So basically what they did was They had so many grain bags. They needed grain to make the beer. They had so many grain bags that were made with a special material called polypropylene. So they were very hard to recycle, and they weren't considered flexible film. So they couldn't just throw it in a recycling bin and call it a day. Like, it stacked up because of a special. They had to take a special precaution in what they were doing. So Avery Brewing decided to step it up, along with other breweries, including but not limited to Slope, Finkel and Garf, Liquid Mechanics, The Post, Mountain Sun, Southern Sun Brew, Beyond the Mountain, and Left Hand Brewing Company.
Upslope?
Upslope? Is that what it is? What did I say? Oopslope?
You said Oopslope.
I've been drinking. Most of these breweries, they all work together to get all their grain bags recycled because they were all having the same issue. They had all these grain bags, they couldn't recycle them. So basically what they did was Avery Brewing Company worked with a recycling company called EcoCycle. And the bags are ultimately being recycled and being used to make new products. I mean, it's just insane what these guys can do. And so far, this is a quote from the website, so far we have diverted over 2,000 pounds of polypropylene from grain bags out of waste stream.
Yeah, they basically, these bags were really hard to recycle, and they said hard is not impossible. So
yeah,
how can we make it happen?
That was on their website. They said hard, it's not impossible.
Yeah.
And so they just did the damn thing. And it's so awesome to see because we love stuff like this. I mean, yeah, you can make a great beer and you can make a great facility and great place, but when you do stuff like this, I mean, this is just, it's going the extra mile and it's something interesting. It's something more than just, we're here to make alcohol. Like, we're here to help, and it's just an amazing thing that they do. And
we talked about it last week that, brewing is an agricultural process. You're taking from the earth, and a lot of breweries, a ton of breweries out there, we talked about it with Sierra Nevada. A lot of breweries are really about giving back to the earth, and this is a great example of a brewery doing that. And I think it's awesome and worth our support.
It's the coolest thing, and like I learned this. I mean, you see grain bags, and you're like, okay, it's a bag, and they have all these photos on the site of this lovely gentleman, employee holding the grain bags. I'm going to call him, he looks like a Kevin or a Keith. His first name definitely starts with a K, so I'm going to give him that. And basically they show like how they're separating it, and it's just like they're helping the environment and they're helping great things, and it's something to really think about and consider. It's just an amazing thing that they're doing. Avery Brewing Company, they're recycling, and they started with the help of Ecosystem, they've started their own little program, and it's EcoCycle, excuse me. They've started their own little program, and it's really amazing what they can do.
Real quick, they do have a tap room at the brewery in Boulder, Colorado. If you find yourself there, and you can visit, you can take a tour any day of the week. I think it's like 4:30 Monday through Friday, and then they have them earlier on the weekends, and more tours on the weekends. They also have a menu of seasonally selected and locally sourced dishes. You can check out their website or the menu for a list of the farms and local manufacturers that provide the produce and things that they use in the tap room, and then of course they have a seemingly never-ending list of beers to go that you can purchase, as well as 30 taps of year-round beers. So you can get things there such as the Bug Zapper Sour Ale with lime zest, ginger, and mint. The Stampede, which is the official beer of the University of Colorado Athletics. My school doesn't have an official beer, I don't think.
UConn's is probably Natty Ice or Bud Light.
They got the Pear of Peaches Imperial Hazy IPA.
Tee-hee.
With pears and peaches at 9%. They have a whole list of brews. You can check out their website to see the full list, and it's rotating all the time. This is also where you can purchase beers such as the Rumpkin, well, you can't purchase that because it's retired, but or the Coconut Porter.
You made that abundantly clear.
You can purchase the 2017, the 2018 vintage. You can purchase old bottles that have been aging a while. You can do all of that at the brewery. And like we said, it's a beautiful state-of-the-art facility. If you're in Boulder, if I'm in Boulder, I'm going to check it out.
And speaking of Boulder, runners alike, if you run because you think it's fun, I don't understand it, but some people do it. The Boulder, it's America's all-time best 10K. It happens in Boulder, Colorado. It's the third largest 10K in the country, the seventh largest in the world. Announced not too long ago that Avery Brewing Company is the official beer partner of the 2020, 2021, and 2022 Boulder, and Colder Boulder road races. That's right.
Boulder just in the winter?
What's that?
Is the colder Boulder just the one in the winter?
The colder Boulder is the Boulder, but in the shoulder of the smolder. Basically what they do is they will supply every finisher 21 years and up with a hazy IPA called the Pacer IPA, which is a very delicious hazy IPA that they make. It's been a crowd favorite. It's been one of their best sellers many years in a row, and the 42nd annual Boulder, I love saying that. Boulder, Colder Boulder, Smolder, Shoulder will be held on Memorial Day, May 25th, 2020. And for more information, you can visit their website at www.boulderboulder.com.
And just be clear, that's Boulder, Bolder, BOLDER, BOU. LDER.
It's like the Boulder because you're bold, and then it's the place in Colorado.
Yes.
And this is a fun fact I learned not too long ago. Again, I don't know things, and I recently learned them. I don't know this specifically, but like my friend's doing the Chicago Marathon in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, Illinois?
That's where it is.
Oh, that's
You have to enter like a lottery to do that. You can't just like sign a paper and join in. Like, everyone in America enters this lottery, and if they pick you, you're running.
What blows my mind about that is that there's that many people that they need to have a lottery. I just thought if you wanted to do it, like, Godspeed.
Apparently not. It blows my mind that people are like, yeah, I'm going to go run. And I'm like, but like,
yeah, that blows my mind.
Like, what do you get at the end? It's like, well, you get beer. It's like, yeah, but I can go pick that up at the store and not have to run. I can drive my car.
I run a lot, and I really hate it. But I do it because I drink all this beer, so I have to.
Apparently, like, running the Chicago Marathon especially, or something like a 10K, I don't even know how long 10K is. I gotta be honest, I'm not a runner, but.
It's like maybe like 6 miles, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently,
that.
like, it takes a while, so you're running for, like, hours on end, and what I was told by one of my friends is, it's not the running that you have a problem with. It's the fact that you're in your own head for 5 hours at a time.
Listen.
And I'm like, what do you do if like your gym playlist is over?
I run like 2 to 3 miles a day, and I have Googled
really?
how do you shut off your mind while you run. I've tried things like, this is just a tip for the runners out there.
Hit me with it.
I've tried things like, there was a tip that like you could play the alphabet game. So while you're running, if you're running outside, now this doesn't work in a gym. If you're running outside, you can look for like an A word, a B word, a C, and just go through.
Yeah.
It like kind of worked, but it was really quick because I saw a lot of license plates. Or you just look for like the letter in the world.
Right.
I don't know. We got to get the fuck out of here. But before we do, because I would feel remiss if we left you guys without a, like, what caught our eye for the week. And Gabe's still playing the ukulele.
Sorry, I'm addicted.
Just real quick, I'm not a big Reddit person, but it recently was brought to my attention that there is a page on Reddit called Am I the Asshole? This is a page where people can go and post shit that happened to them and ask the world, "Am I the asshole?" And people
funny.
on Reddit can vote, "You're an asshole" or not. A lot of them are funny. There's a lot of like, "Hey, I broke up with my ex. She told the kid I was her dad. I told the kid I'm not.
What?
Am I the asshole?" There's a lot of that.
What?
But
Daddies are involved?
there's a lot of that stuff. But my favorite one that I read,
All right, hit me with it. I haven't read this ahead of time, so I don't know what's going on.
there was a couple. I don't know their names, but they were contractors in DC, and they were into this like real life escape room thing, this like spy fantasy type shit, right? So the husband, for their anniversary, like, I guess you can do this. You can hire a company or like a service
Kidnap
to, like,
your wife.
pretend to kidnap your wife.
What the fuck? Are you kidding me?
And, you know, then she thinks she's been kidnapped, and then I don't know what happens, and they get out of it, and then it's like, "Oh, I love you," and that's somehow their anniversary. So this guy, but they work.
He has to like save her?
But they work in DC. So they work like, okay, they both go to lunch and they start walking back towards the Hoover building, the FBI building, right? And these actors that are supposed to kidnap them, they roll up in this white van, like in the movies. They shove a gun in the wife's face, or the guy's face, and they grab the wife and they bring her into the van. This is the FBI building. So, like, literally, 2 security guards see this. They start calling for backup. They pull the husband into the building. They grab the wife. The wife, the actors get all tied up.
No way.
The wife,
so this was a stage thing that the FBI was like, "Oh, hell no, we gotta fucking..." The wife
had like a panic attack and passed out and like broke up with the guy.
No! What are you doing? Yo! What is happening right now?
Am I the asshole?
Yes! Are you kidding? Well, wait a minute. This is open for discussion because she was like into this fantasy like sexually?
I don't know much background on her because there wasn't a whole profile, but I'm just saying, like, the guy hired a company to kidnap his wife. I can't think of any scenario that's the like, right way to go. An escape room is like an agreed upon, you have to stand at the front desk and sign a waiver and go, "Yes, lock me up." This is... What? I mean, you're just walking through your life and some dudes show up in a white van, an unmarked white van.
Take you.
And kidnap you. I would pass the fuck out.
I feel like something would take over me.
And then I find out that my girlfriend staged it. I'd be like, "You..."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I'd be like, it's not you, it's me. Let me get the hell out of here.
We need to have a chat.
Wow. That's wild. The FBI showed up and they were like, "Oh, this was a joke? Yeah, you shouldn't joke about that."
Like, and don't do it. If I was doing it in DC, if I was hiring this company, I would be like, "Whatever you do, don't do it in front of
the fucking FBI HQ. What do you?
Do it however you want, but maybe don't do it here."
Guys,
we got to get the fuck out of here.
We got to get the fuck out of here. I know you guys got to get the fuck out of here if you're on your way to work, if you're on your way to the gym, if you're on your way to the bar. I mean, brownie points.
But
we have been wow.
We are hammered.
I'm not feeling.
Guys,
I'm feeling good.
I want to say it again, like I do every week. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it. Please, please, please go out and support us on Apple Podcasts. Give us a rate or review on Spotify. We're on wherever you listen to podcasts, Google, whatever the platform is you listen to. Hit us up on there and follow the show.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Find us, the HOP. What is our
at the HO podcast.
The HO podcast, right. But we are the HOP.
And
Find
please
us.
send us beer suggestions as well.
Yes.
You can send them through any of those platforms, or you can email the show at thehopod@gmail.com. Send us suggestions. Send us what you want to hear on the show. We want to do it for you. We want to make the show good for you. This is all about you, not just us drinking what we like. So let us know what you want to hear us dissect, and we will do it.
That's how official we are. We have our own Gmail account. And for one last time tonight, Mike Breen, tell him how to feel.
Exclamation point.
That is all for us. Thank you guys so much for joining in. We'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.
See you next week, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good week.
Drink up.